Hey, have you ever heard of William Borden? Borden was a young man that lived in the 1900s, and this guy was born to an immense family fortune. It was the Borden family fortune. They're, in today's terms, worth at least $2 billion, but silver spoon, extreme privilege, etc., to the point where his father, for a high school graduation present, said, "I'm going to send you on a round-the-world trip." How does that sound? So he went on that round-the-world trip, and what he saw was just the lost on a grand scale. He really got a vision for the world and was just burdened by the lost. So he comes home and he goes to Yale, right? And he starts a Bible study with his roommate. And they'd read scripture and they study and they start praying. And they start praying for others and grabbing them and discipling them. And one thing the students said about him, they said, this guy, they noticed right away, this guy was special. They said he was actually far ahead of us. He was just a different animal. He was so far ahead of us spiritually. And so again, he starts this Bible study. Now, by the end of his freshman year, he has 150 kids in his Bible study. Phenomenal. And then by the end of that time, at time of graduation, Yale had 1,300 kids in total. 1,000 of those kids were in his Bible study. Okay, so Borden then graduates from college. He goes to his father and he tells him the good news that his life calling is to be a missionary. And you can imagine the reaction. Even if the parents are strong Christians, it doesn't make any sense, right? It's like, son, you are going to have a life like few others. You're going to be a captain of industry. Your influence will be so unbelievable. Why would you throw that away? His friends even said the same thing. Why would you throw your life away to be a missionary? Borden knew his calling, though. He had a calling from the Lord. He gets on a boat, and he's going to reach Muslims, and he stops in Egypt, first of all, to learn Islam and to learn Arabic. So he understands how to meet these people and how to work with them and bring them to the gospel. And he contracts meningitis, and he ends up dying in Egypt. You know, I think for a lot of people, Borden's life is a Rorschach test. You know, those psychological tests, the funny pictures, and there's no meaning to them, but they ask you, what is this? And so his life is a Rorschach test. What does his life look like to you? For many, I think even for many Christians, it was a fool's errand. It's like, why did you throw away so much? Why? He could have had tremendous influence. He could have reached so many. But for him, winning only meant one thing. And it's, what is Matthew 13? A man found a treasure in a field, and he went and he bought everything for that field. That was him. He had found the treasure, and he was determined to give it to others, to give away his life and to share the Father's life with the lost. And that was his calling. And once you have the calling, it doesn't matter. Once you know the Lord's will, it doesn't matter. That's what you have to follow. So for Borden's success, if you had to sum it up, what did he say at Yale? No reserve, no retreat. And then when he was dying in Egypt, you know what he put in his journal? He said, no regrets. He knew full well he had carried out his mission. You know, the world's going to only teach you one thing about life, and that is to grab as much as possible, to become all that you're supposed to be. And that might mean you're going to do good. You're going to be a surgeon, or it might mean you're going to be a Hollywood star and just do success and money and fame. It doesn't matter. But in the end, it's all about you, and it's what do you want to do, and what are you supposed to be doing? What are you wired for? Listen, that is a compass that's going to get you good and lost in life. And there's only one compass. There's only one real one. And that is to say, what does the Father want? I first of all give my life completely to Him, and then His calling is my calling. And that's the compass that will get you home. Hey, as you go about this week, even this year, even the rest of your life, I want you to think about William Borden. And what was the lesson? No reserve, no retreat. And in the end, it was no regrets. You know, all that treasure he pushed in towards God, and it's now sitting in the bank, never to be taken away. And he's to live on that for eternity. And he has immense wealth, the thing that his Father wanted for him, he actually has. Immense wealth that goes on for eternity. No reserve, no retreat, and no regrets. God bless you.